Hello, I'm going to try to make a, a tutorial on how to model import. So first, import your SMD, export that from hsdraw, then delete all of the extra bones, and then go to the little green guy at the bottom, and then click name, and you can see the names of the bones now. Then import your model that you want to put over. I'm doing N64 Smash Bros. Falcon. Get rid of the extra bits you don't need. Just hide that. Gonna adjust the arms. Actually, first I think I'm gonna unsharpen it because it had a bunch of sharp lines everywhere, which I didn't like. It's a preference thing, but it probably looked funky. Get rid of the extra hands that this Falcon comes with. Some cool shortcuts are L, holding shift and pressing L, and holding control and pressing L. Just pressing L with different buttons and see what it does. Is useful for selecting things. I'm gonna do that all the time. So I think I just merged by distance on everything, which made all the seams that are connecting merged together, which for this should have just been all of the. It should be fine. Sometimes that's a problem to merge all like that, but in this instance it was fine. Now I'm selecting his arm and repositioning them. Hitting L, Control L, Shift L. I also have some useful shortcuts on the quick favorite menu by pressing Q. I recommend you put the things you use often on that. I'm just fiddling with his arm. Now I'm adjusting his legs. Basically in this first part, I'm just posing him, getting him ready to be rigged or weighed, whatever you want to call it. Just adjusting his legs more. More adjusting of the legs. Gotta check every angle, make sure it lines up. Because if it doesn't line up, it'll look funky. I'm gonna line up the chest and the head. I'm gonna leave the arms where they were, because that's fine. I'm gonna move his head forward a little bit. Just line it up with Melee's Falcon. You can see I have it visible, the SMD model. I just use that as reference a lot of the time. You can also check the weights from that. Now I separated from material or separated from loose parts. One of those. I don't know why I just showed this. It can be useful. You just you select all and then hit P, then buy loose parts, material, or the other one. I don't remember. I'm just separating the arms, I think. Yeah, by selection. I'm going to separate the legs. Okay, now we're going to start rigging. Where I go into pose mode just to show you. You can use this to check to see what you've posed and what you haven't and how it looks. So I haven't posed anything yet. So now I'm going to hit... You want to select the skeleton, hit A to select all, and then hit Control P. And if you haven't done it already, maybe you have to hit Alt P and then clear and keep transformations. If you have another skeleton that came with it, you don't want that. So get rid of that and then, yeah. Basically, yeah. Control P and then with empty groups. And then that's when you can start weighing and it'll be affected by pose mode. Right here you can see in the bottom right is where the weights are in the vertex groups. And I'm gonna weigh it to 19 because that's where the chest is for Falcon. The pelvis usually bone 4 on most characters. So now you can see I weighed it to 19 and now it bends in pose mode. Don't be afraid to use pose mode. Okay, right up there, I'm looking at, in pose mode, I'm seeing what the bones are at the top left. So 45, 46, 47. That's what the arm bones are going to be weighed to. So now I just select those. Since this is a low poly model, it's really easy to weigh since every polygon's just like weighed to one thing, usually. So I just weigh this to... I remove from all groups when you weigh them. That gets rid of the weights on them that are already on them, which you don't want anymore. Just weighing this, 46, 47. Now the hand. You can see this is a low poly hand. I'm gonna make it be able to bend and like make a fist. I'm not gonna give it additional fingers, even though you could, just because it doesn't need it. It's just like a 64 Falcon skin, whatever. But having it make a fist is good enough. So right now I'm weighing the thumb first. As you could see before, I selected the fingers where they would be right here, and then subdivided it, and that made in the line select mode. I selected those lines and then subdivided it. So now I'm just gonna adjust the hand more. I'll eventually, yeah, right now it only has one part where it bends at and it's not right. So I'm going to go in there and adjust that, add another part where it has. Oh, I accidentally selected that vert. Make sure you don't do that. Scoot that down by pressing G twice, GG, and that lets you like scoot the verts. Subdivide it again right here to add another finger layer, like another knuckle basically. Remove from groups, and then assign that, and then this one assign. And now I go in the pose mode and it should bend properly. I only attached it to one finger because it's a low poly model. If you do this with a character that has multiple fingers on a model, please actually rig all the fingers so it looks good. I was being a little lazy when I did this, but it's also just, yeah. Please rig all your fingers so they look good, and use pose mode to check if they look good. Just adjusting the thumb. Now for the other arm, I'm gonna scoot this a little bit. '23, '24, '25. That's the joints or the bones. 23, remove from all groups. 24, remove from all groups. After I deselect the other part, sign. Doing the sum. Now you'll see I'll do it more efficiently by clicking the little button down there and subdividing it by 2. And that just makes it have about where it needs to go. You can always slide it by pressing GG, like I will. Rigging it to about the middle finger. Yeah, the middle finger, I think. Don't be afraid to go in the pose mode and check. Looks good to me. Looks good enough. I'm gonna do the head. I'm gonna do the neck. I'm gonna attach it to the torso, the top torso, so 19. And then the top part of the neck, and then the head. I'm gonna do the 39, which is Falcon's head. I'll even go check to make sure. Yeah, 39. You can also check the other model again. See, it's 39. Pose mode. It's a little weird looking, but whatever. I think it's good. It's fine. Rather. Now I'm checking the weight. See what the legs are. It's 13 and 7, I think. So now I'm gonna separate. I'm gonna select all the leg. Hit Shift L or Control L, one of those. Select all the leg, and then hit P. Select, and then separate by selection. bring that to 13, then 14, because that's the lower leg. Now the foot. I know it's 16 and 17 for the front and back part of the foot. Now the next leg. Don't be afraid in like joint areas, like at the knee or an elbow, to rig it to 0.5 on the weights. Uh, that lets it bend more smoothly and is worth doing, so you should do that. It makes it look better. It doesn't need it on this one because it's a low poly model, but basically at like an elbow, yeah, you can see it's all rigged now. Now it's time to go to hsdraw, I think. Oh wait, no, make the low poly. Okay, so select all. I'm separating by material. I'm showing you can edit the UVs right here in the UV editing menu. I separated by material, so now all the things that are separate but the same material I'm going to combine by pressing Control J. I'm just combining all those things that have the same texture. I noticed this is messed up, so I'm going to fix that real quick. 42. Oh, actually, it's at 43. I think I fix it later. I do fix it. Yeah, it bends. Low poly model for this, I didn't really need to do anything, but I will show you what to do. Yeah, I'm combining stuff and then getting rid of the texture on the low poly model, just to save space. I know I didn't explain that very well, but I forgot. I forgot to show the low poly part. Basically, you just select your whole model, then duplicate it, and then so you have a duplication of your model. And then you want to rename all the parts to low poly and stuff, so it's easier to see. And then you want to go into edit mode, select all, and then merge by distance to get rid of any seams, and then decimate geometry. So this lets you make a... Yeah, it doesn't really work well on this one because it's already low poly, but you can see what it does. It kind of like shreds it down. It doesn't look good, but if low poly models don't need to look that good. I try to keep them under like 900. Maybe that's too much, but yeah. In general, I'd say your triangle count, if you press top right, and you can see statistics somewhere. Right here, you can see the settings I use for exporting the XPX. This is we're exporting already, so use those settings. Don't be afraid to rewind. Import your model. I had to do this again because I forgot to record. So select all. Make sure it doesn't have any vertex colors, unless you want those for whatever reason. That's the texture format I'd like to use, and then right there, it's mesh names. I like to, you can double click things to say, make them true or false. I'm replacing this texture. I just knew it. I'm doing this really fast because I already did it before. I'm turning culling off. You may or may not want culling depending on what you're doing. For this one, I don't need it. I'm adding dummy objects. Then I'm deleting them down to 78, which is what original Falcon is. Here it is. Original Falcon. There's the low poly, so it starts at 34. So low poly, gonna move these down. Cut right there. 34. Here's all the low poly parts. Just double checking, making sure it all is what it needs to be. For transparent textures, sometimes you may need nosy clip or nosy update and has transparency. You might have to check those boxes. Replace the skeleton with a good skeleton of Falcon. Trim the data. Sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes I've been told that's what makes it work on console. I don't know how true that is. I do that anyways. It doesn't seem to mess anything up. Now let's test it. I just saved it as a DAT. Boom. It's Falcon. You can see his hands. It bends. Right now it's a fist. His feet. I actually kind of messed up on the rim of his coat. It maybe should have been had culling and there should have been two of them, but whatever.